I got the recipe, never gonna let any op get the best of me. Thought it was distance, but hey, this is next to me. Talk to the spirit, you know I've been heavenly. Company definitely show your trajectory. This ain't a diss cause I say it respectfully.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Spot Real Talk. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And I know it's been a good little minute. We've been gone for a while, but you know, we've been working on some stuff. Yes, you guys want to give a little life update?
Well, at least with me, I've been working a few film projects and completed. In fact, I have written a script and we're about to shoot on that. So as Tiara said, life is good, but
life has been lifing, right?
Yes,
right? Life
yeah.
You
know. We've all been busy.
Mm-hmm.
Tiff, what about you?
I just support my son with his music and stuff and traveling, and that's it. That's it.
Okay. Well, I know for myself, I have a big announcement for all of our spotters out there. We are getting a new member because your girl is expecting. So we have a baby spotter on the way.
Yes, we're having a spot baby, y'all.
Yes. It is a her. So like y'all said, life has been life and we have been busy and we definitely missed you guys. And you know, we have been anxious to record, but a lot has also been going on in Hollywood where, you know, we haven't necessarily had a whole lot to recap. So, you know, we support the actors, we support the writers, pay them people. I hope they can come to some kind of agreement.
I think they are getting close. Yeah. I think the last thing I heard, they were getting close to something, having an agreement made. Who knows what that really means? But just as you said, let's get it done.
Yeah, I know us as the viewers, we got our fingers crossed waiting. But you know, in the meantime, one of our favorites is back. We've been anxiously awaiting the CHI. So it's
before we go there, I wanted to mention about the new look. Let us know what you think about it, whether you like that or we want us to keep the old one. You know, it's all about you and how you guys feel. So let us know.
Yes, please drop down in the comment sections, and while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe and like the video.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very important. So, like I said, we are talking about the CHI today. Season 6 is back. We have the first episode titled New CHI City, and it is really just picking up right where last season ended. We knew that Otis was a big problem last season. You know, he killed Q, who we found out was also, what's his name's uncle?
Rob's
uncle. Yeah, so we got a lot of surprises there with Q's departure from the show. And then Vic having to take care of the body. And of course, then Emmett got roped in with Douda too. So it's like all of this shenanigans going on. But it wasn't without a happy ending last season with Darnell and Jada. So we kind of just got like all of that drama that carried right into this first episode. And so, like I was saying, you know, we got a lot from Emmett, and I feel like he's going to be a very focal character this season because I think he's in trouble. Tiff, you look like you agree.
Yeah, I do. And I'm just like, why in the world would he get in bed with Douda? Because especially after Brandon getting killed, you know, like, you know, I know it's rumors about what happened to Brandon, but I think because Emmett was working with him on the truck, I think he knew that Brandon was working with Douda and stuff. And I think people know who Douda is. So for him to get in bed with him, I think it's a mistake. And I think also we saw in the very beginning that the situation with he and Kiesha, like, looks like the honeymoon is over.
Well, it looks like everybody was having some honeymoon difficulties or some sexual, but I don't know what was going on, but there was a lot going on in the bedrooms, and it seemingly, particularly with Emmett and Kiesha. I wanted to mention too, with Emmett, I kind of get how the young man feels. I mean, you know, he has a business and he wants to see that business flourish. And, it wasn't moving. And so I think that he saw Douda as a way to get some things done. Why on earth, though? And I agree with you 100%. Why would you, getting in bed with Douda is just you signing your life over to the devil. I mean, there's just no other way of putting that. And when Douda's right hand man gave him the gun and said, "Hold on to this," we're going to see that again sometime in the very near future. And you just, naively just take the gun as if, I get it. You're young, you probably not thinking, but that's what you get when you go to bed with Douda.
But I'm like, was that the same gun that he killed old boy that was popping on that gun with? Because if that gun is not connected to a body and Emmett's fingerprints on it, that could get real sticky very fast. Real sticky.
And that's a good question too, whether it was the same gun or not. Because if it was the same gun, then maybe, Emmett, it's okay, because he did just pick it up and lay out 4 rounds on my boy. And I couldn't understand what he said that made Otis so angry. Did you get what he said?
Oh, because Otis was telling him to tone it down with the gun popping. He was trying to teach the boys how to, smoke the cigars. Right. And old boy was like, I ain't even chewing that loud. He really was back talking Otis. He don't play that.
I just couldn't hear what he said. He said something. And I mean, I couldn't make out what he said to make Douda so angry. But whatever it was.
It really was just a flex so that he could show who's in charge. Like, don't play with me.
Okay.
So, I think Emmett is well aware. If he wasn't aware before, he is very well aware now. Just the type of person he's dealing with.
Absolutely.
And he had to know that, taking all of these gifts, first it was the suit, then it was the car, and then he got another car for Tiff. And so I'm like, you gotta know that Otis is not funding these luxuries for nothing. There's going to be some kind of expectation in return.
And look, the cars, and he's talking about he's getting a good deal from these listen, we saw the dudes stealing the cars and everything. Now that I saw that, I was like, Tip's car is probably hot. Emmett's car is probably hot. That's gonna come back around. Why?
Well, he did say that. I think Emmett did say he got the car from the dealer, and it was a good deal. He paid cash for it. I don't know, and you might be right. Who knows?
That dealer, we don't know if old boy had been, lifting.
It could be
the cars and selling it to the dealer and stuff, and that may be why it's a good deal. Like, we don't know. I think there's gonna be something up with that.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, it's something nefarious with it, and I agree with 100%. I'm trying to see the good in all this, but so far, well, first let me say,
not would do that.
Let me say this though. Let me say this for episode 1. This was a very, very good episode. I mean,
it was.
It
was.
Yeah.
I watched it with my son, and he was like, "This is a solid." He was like, "It's a solid opener. There's a lot going on and everything." And I saw the trailer. So we already know. I saw a casket. We don't know who that is.
Look, let me tell you who I think it is.
You think it's Papa?
No, I think it's either Nuck, because you seen how he was getting jealous of the boy that was doing the cars and whatnot. I think it's either Nuck or Bakari.
I saw Bakari too. I was like, Papa, Bakari, one of them, because I believe Lena mentioned that this season was going to go back darker. Like she heard a lot of the input from, us, the folks watching and stuff. And I think they're going back to like season 1 roots and stuff. So I think
prettiness.
Yeah. So I feel like it could be somebody near and dear to us. Cause I'm even wondering if, like, Rashad is having a hard time finding a job. And I'm like, will that push him back into the life? And will that get him killed?
That's a good question.
He's living with old girl, and she's letting it be known that that's her house and stuff. Her rules and everything. And he's feeling less than,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, will he be pulled back into the life? And could that get him killed?
I don't know.
Would hate to see.
I think to me, the one question I had in the show was the young dude that snatched the Chevy in the first place and brought it back to do this chop shop. My question was, did he appear to be like a Fed or something? It's like there was just too much. I mean, young guys don't normally go after the muscle cars because they really don't know that much about them. Remember, he bypassed the Mercedes and said, "Why are you so basic?" and went right to the muscle car. Which, hey, I love muscle cars. I would have done the same thing, but it was just the after doing so, and then I guess the conversation he had with Douda that kind of made me think: is he somebody he may appear to be someone that someone else, a cop or something. I don't know.
Or was he trying to really impress Otis? Because Otis is known, and I think a lot of people, especially if you from that lifestyle, you might want to be in bed with him because his money is long.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that's why I'm thinking like this dude is probably picking that particular car and flexing in front and up, basically sunning him to let him know that like I'm not new to this, I'm true to this. Like I know how to do this. I'm a pro at this.
But it's what Douda said to him when he said, "How did you know that I like this type of car?" And I was thinking, okay, so obviously they didn't have a conversation about it because the first thing Douda said was, "How did you know?" And my thing is, if I were Fed, first of all, you kind of research a person, you know what they like, you know what they don't like. And for him to just bypass that brand new Mercedes and go to that muscle car, he had to have known something. Just I'm putting it out there. It don't mean anything.
No, anything is possible. Anything is possible. We'll see.
We will see. But I kind of want to go back to that Emmett and Tiff thing because Rob looked a little upset that Emmett bought her a car. And I was like, well, this is a good topic of conversation. Like, for us ladies, like, how would you feel if your man was out here buying a car for his baby mama, who he is no longer with, because they just had that big issue last season and we barely just got past that.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up.
And then Ron, on the other hand, how would you feel as a man if your woman's ex baby father and all of that was buying her a new car? Like,
all right,
how do y'all feel about that?
Good question. And I'm gonna first attack it on you all's level because what did Kiesha say to what did she say? She said we should have discussed it. Come on, there is no discussion. Because we know if you bring it up, hey babe, look here, I'm gonna go buy a new car, brand new car for my ex, and I just want your opinion on it. You know what that opinion would have been? Hell no. So now on the flip side, if my ex, let me see if my lady is buying a car for her ex, all because they have this, but then and I guess he's taking care of the child. Yeah, I'd have felt a certain kind of way. I mean, I look, I understood how she felt, but that question about let's discuss, I ain't never had a discussion that went my way when it comes to something like that.
Stop it, Mr. Merryman. You do have a discussion when you are in a relationship.
I'm saying
they live together. They live together.
What can you say, Tim?
They're planning a future together. And all she was saying, and she wasn't saying don't do it, but it would have been cool if we had a discussion. Not saying ask me for permission, like she said. She's saying, like, if you're in a relationship and they're supposed to be in it for the long haul, then run it by me, like, hey babe, I'm thinking about, Tiff is on a bus with EJ or whatever the situation is. She doesn't have a car. I'm thinking about getting her a little something. That's a conversation. That's all. That's not asking for permission, just running it by her instead of saying, I mean, they're together. They're together. So
that conversation would have been.
I think there should have been a discussion. I feel like Rob felt the way, but if Rob felt the way, why didn't you get it for her?
Well, that's the other thing.
With you.
That is exactly right. So I'm not even looking at Rob, but I just happen to know when we say we should have talked about it, I guarantee you, had they, Kiesha probably would have said no. And rightfully so, because I mean, let's face it. You buying a car for your ex, you're keeping her close. And maybe that's what he wants to do. I mean, in fact,
that's what Otis sounded like he wanted him to do.
Well, that's what Otis said to him. Otis was like, take care of your women. And he was like, you got several women. So, Otis said, hey.
Take care of your kids.
I agree.
Because listen, I feel like, look, I'm going there. Puff, Diddy, he has baby moms and stuff. I think he makes sure that all of those mothers, the children's mothers, are straight.
But Puff got Puff got FU money, and you know what the F means.
Yeah. But I'm just saying. I think I'm just saying about the mindset that he makes sure that his children's mothers are good,
and that's a good thing.
And I think that was Emmett's intention. Like, this is not this, my son's mother.
And if you're like
go ahead.
I was gonna agree with you. I was gonna say, if you're a certain kind of woman, like Tiff and Kiesha obviously have a bond, and you're not going to want to see her struggling with a son on the bus. So I think that Kiesha is coming from the standpoint, like, yeah, make sure she's good, make sure your son is good, but also run it by me, because we're not even in the best of situation right now. Like, it's all of these kids up in here, they walking in on us, banging on, like, we need a bigger spot ourselves. So if you're gonna be doing all of that, then make sure home is taken care of as well. So that's where I think Kiesha was coming from. But also the point is, she's like, where's the money coming from? Because it ain't just come out of nowhere. So this whole Otis situation, you can really, really see that Kiesha does not like Otis.
She knows he gotta listen to the women.
No, true. I mean, 100%. Women know more than we do when it comes to.
The instincts. Our spidey sense be tingling. Like, this ain't right.
Now, one thing Emmett did that I didn't agree with is when he said, "It's my money, son. You living with this young lady, y'all trying to start something. No, it ain't your money, it's our money, because the first time she shows her hand like that, you're gonna be all up in flames." So I think that was a bad move. To say that. I understand where it was coming from, but that's not your money. Y'all are trying to build something, so you're either going to build something or you're not. But I like it. I like the discussion. I like the back and forth. I'm a little concerned with the relationship right now, because Keisha's on the straight and narrow, and my boy Emmett just
she got herself a new job and everything. So I was really happy for Kiesha, because she's come a very long way.
Definitely.
And I was proud of her too, at the job, how she represented herself and spoke up and was a voice for that little boy. In the classroom, because I ain't like how that teacher was trying to shut her down at first. But
well, but you saw in the background when Kiesha was able to get the boy that not only could he read extremely well. And comprehended what he read. So and sister in the background looking and thinking, I'm sure she was thinking to herself, maybe I made a mistake with this young lady. And I hope she thinks that.
He was just shy.
Right. And I hope she, goes back and apologizes to Kiesha, because she made a big mistake.
Well, I think it worked out in her favor, because it said that Kiesha said she got the job. Whereas at first it seemed that teacher seemed like she was being kind of threatening, like, well, I don't know if this is the right place for you, if you can't do things our way. And I think, after witnessing how Kiesha was able to break through and get through to the little boy, she probably realized that you need to have other voices, and, you need to be open-minded.
Exactly. Yeah. So, it's a whole lot going on with that situation. And even if because we talked a little bit about Rob, but he was also propositioned by Otis this week too, to cut a new deal with him. And Rob, he seems like the type that is street smart. Like, he seemed cautious to enter into that agreement, especially after it seemed like Otis kind of insinuated that he was responsible for Q's death. And so I think Rob, he's also getting into bed with Otis. It's not necessarily going to be a positive thing, because if you heard that conversation that Tiff had with Emmett, she was like, I'm thinking about starting up my own business again. And I'm like, I hope she's not thinking about in the drug game with Otis's product, because that's going to pull her into deeper with him. So, I hope that Rob and Tiff, they can work things out and really see Otis for who he is and be very aware, proceed with caution.
I have a prediction about Rob. And my son and I were talking about that. I think Rob wants to avenge his uncle. And I think he's keeping Douda close. I think he's saying he's gonna work with him and stuff and everything, but I think that he's trying to set him up to get close to get revenge for his uncle.
I kind of agree. I saw in his eyes that he had, no good intentions. And so it would be interesting to figure out how he does that, because Douda is a little deep. I don't know how deep Rob is, but I did see that in his eyes. He had no good intentions for Douda at all. Now, you get back to Tiff. Look, your namesake, babe. Something's wrong with her because she knows what Douda's like. She knows who he is. Otis come knocking on the door, and what does she do? She lets him in.
Oh, you talking about Tracy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Damn.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, wait a minute.
No, I'm talking about Tracy. Because I got all these women.
Yeah, Tracy. Tracy. Mm-mm.
Yeah, now Tiff.
Yeah.
Tiff and Rob, I never liked them together anyways. I just don't.
Oh.
Never have.
Okay.
No, I don't. So
news to us.
No, I maybe I didn't say it before, but the more I see them together, the less I like. Even with the situation with the car, just like you said, Tim. Why didn't he buy her a car? He's obviously making some cash with this little drug situation he got going on. Obviously, he didn't care whether they were walking, catching a bus, or whatever. So now, you in your feelings because her ex bought her a car, and now you sitting up there looking 6'7" or 8" and stupid. And look, I'm sorry. I don't. They need to break up, do something.
You know what?
We gotta remember Tiff was in the hot seat last season, though, so she might not be deserving of a car from Rob.
Right. And you know what? I just thought about something else. Because remember when he first started dating her, he was buying her all these expensive gifts, right, and she did not seem appreciative.
True.
Of those gifts. So maybe he decided, like, I'm not getting her that car. She told me that it was the thought that counts and all this stuff, and that the material things didn't mean much to her. So maybe he just was like, nah.
But it makes my point too, because obviously Rob was that type of guy. He wanted to outfit his lady and he wanted to look good. Got that. Loved that idea. My man. But when a woman shows you who she is, or man, you got to believe them. And you should have stepped and said, okay, this isn't my type of woman. So let me just roll on out and she can go find somebody else. She can go find a bland guy who's not going to do anything for her. But then again, you just don't know what's on Tiff's mind. You don't know. I still don't know whether she...
Well, they reconciled at the end.
Well, they did, but still, Tiff is... I can't figure Tiff out. I don't know what's on her mind. I'm trying to tell you. I don't know if she's trying to slowly get back into Emmett's life. It's just, I'm sorry, Tiff. I don't.
Well, did you see her and Rob getting busy in the car that?
Yeah. Well, she's gonna get her. No, she's gonna get her piece now. Look, Tiff ain't long on that. She's gonna get her piece, but it's something about the way she handles herself with Emmett and Rob. I just don't think that's a marriage made in heaven, or rather a relationship made in heaven. And I don't think they're going to be around. I don't think he's going to be around much longer. I just don't.
Well, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. But, you did bring up Tracy, too. And as much as she was trying to resist Otis, she fell right back in, and I was like, Lord, Otis must have a hold on her something crazy because it was like she was so resolved.
I don't know. I can't be.
He put a spell on her because I was just like, don't open the door.
Right.
You don't want to see him. Don't open the door.
But she did want to see him. That's my whole point. I mean,
right.
She wanted that. She wouldn't have opened the door. She wanted it. And she didn't fight much when he grabbed her arm. She moved up
but
to
you
him.
could tell she felt so stupid the next morning, especially as she's like watching that Earth the Kid video. You know, you could tell that she was just like, why did I do that? So I think after that moment, she really will be done with him. And if you think about it, like Otis has it coming from so many angles. You know, I think Tracy gonna be sick and tired of him. We already know Vic is tired of him. And then he's going to have also Rob and possibly even Emmett that try to plot against him, and maybe even people within his own crew, such as Nuck. So it's like Otis really could have it coming from every direction.
Let me ask you this.
I think there's a lot that's going to happen this season with him.
Let me ask, do you think Tiff is still with Otis because she's afraid of him?
Tracy?
Okay. Did I say Tiff? Tracy. Yeah. Do you think Tracy is still with Otis?
No, I think she just can't shake him. I think she's in love with him and she just can't shake him. Because, you know, that conversation that she had during girls' night.
Right.
You know, like she really wants someone and stuff. And
but you want
she
him?
wants to be in love and she wants longevity. And, you know, the heart wants what it wants, you know, and unfortunately he's not a good dude, but she's in love with him.
I just I mean, maybe I just saw something different in Tracy, particularly when they were having their little, you know, get together, and what she said, I believed her. I believe she wanted more for her life. Certainly she's not going to get it from Otis. She can get things from Otis, and the question is that what she's after? I thought maybe she participated with what Otis wanted because she's a little afraid of him and she didn't know what to do. And she finds herself. Oh,
she love that man. And I think he loves her too. But he just no good.
He don't love
to
her.
An extent.
Yeah, it's to an extent. I mean, look, the message, what was the message he left her that morning? You know, like old times or something he said. I mean, dang.
Yeah.
That's all you can say.
Like he was rubbing it in the fact that he can just come and go as he please.
Exactly. That's how I read that message. I'm like,
she allowed it.
Well, she did.
Right.
You know, that's what I said.
But I was like,
that's why she felt stupid.
Right. And I said, I thought to myself, bro, dang, that's all you can say after, you know, a long stay.
Well, if she was a long stay,
I don't think it was a long stay.
Look, a Negro like that should have had an hour at best, and then let him go.
But I figure like once Roz stepped back into the picture this season, I think, you know, that'll be enough for Tracy to truly be done with him. I'm hoping at least. But you never know with her.
You better hope Tracy don't end up getting hurt behind him, you know. Because that's the other thing. Like you said, so many people have it out for him. And, you know, you could get caught in the crosshairs messing with him.
And Tracy knows that.
Exactly.
That's why, you know, love or not, you do know who you're messing with. So at some point.
And we see what Victor was willing to do to try to protect her from last season because, you know, he put that video out of Douda beating up Marcus so that, you know, the public could see who he really is. And hopefully it would click with Tracy that, I need to leave this dude alone. Clearly it didn't work, but, you know, Vic put in a good effort. And, you know, speaking of him, we are rocking our Vote for Victor shirts. Can you see? There we go. And it looks like, you know, he was very successful in his campaign, only after being pushed a little bit to kind of do some public massaging and putting out some video content that would go viral to help him out in his campaign. So he really won by like a hair, but a win is a win.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that he did win is going to be like a big confidence boost for him because he came out last season and lived his truth, letting everybody know that his relationship with Tiara, who we're going to talk about in a minute, he let everybody know that was a phony relationship and he was really in love with a transgender. Well, I don't even know if it was mentioned that she was trans, but I think a lot of people know who she is since she's a well-known writer.
She's a reporter.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing too.
He lived his truth and he won.
Well, and that's the other thing with Fatima because, you know, and it's I'm beginning to wonder what sort of relationship will evolve because he's now, you know, he's won. So he's in the political life, and she's afraid to step out because of all the negativity that she's been getting. So what happens? Because he's going to be invited to a lot of dinners, a lot of all sorts of things.
She did show up though.
Say again?
She showed up.
Despite her apprehension,
she still
showed up.
She did show up, but the question is, how strong is her apprehension? How strong is that negativity really? Is she really dealing with it, or is it something that she can get over and be on his arms when he needs her?
Listen, but I understood how she was feeling, because we live in a time, you see what's going on in Florida with Governor DeSantis and things, just the appetite people are being treated these days and everything. I can see why she would have some apprehension.
No, I agree.
And she also still has a job to do, because it's kind of a conflict of interest being with him in the first place, because obviously he's now a councilman, but she also has a duty to report truthfully, and it could look like she's being biased in some instances. So that can be a lot of pressure on her too. So I get why she might feel away. But I don't know where that relationship is going to go. I think that it might fizzle out, despite all of the efforts.
Certainly, there's some hills to climb this episode, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. So, what about old Marcus and Tiara now?
Yes, I was like,
she making me look bad.
She
might take a bad name.
Listen. Hey. I had a back and forth with my son about
y'all are getting it on. See, y'all are getting it on.
The Tiara and Marcus thing. Only because, my son was siding with Gemma, and I don't really care for her much. But
you like Gemma, okay.
But he was saying too, he was just like, Tiara was doing a lot, which she was.
He came on way too strong.
He came on way too strong and everything.
That's
so
her.
I agree with that. But on the other hand, with Marcus, when he is dating, I feel like, as parents, we have to have a life too. And you, child, Gemma, or whoever, you don't get to dictate who how I date, who I date, whatever.
That's a daddy's girl. That's a daddy's girl.
Yeah, I know. I get that. I'm not saying that you don't consider your children, because of course you do when you're dating and stuff like that. But I saw both sides. Like Tiara came on way too strong. She was wrong. She was out of pocket. She did too much. However, Gemma, you the child also. So you, like her saying you gotta, pretty much making the dad choose or whatever. He is a single man and stuff. And if he wants to be able to date, not that I think that Tiara is the one. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not capable for her. I'm just saying that he has a right to have a life too and pursue someone and enjoy a relationship other than being a father.
But I think that it's like a brand new shoe. You got to break it in. And I don't think Marcus did that very well.
No, he did.
Right.
So, I can understand how Gemma felt, because she's been the queen of the house, for some time. And then you bring in old girl who really just doesn't give a damn about much anything. So, because she really doesn't care about Gemma. She only cares about what she can get out of this situation. And then that brings another question. What are you really after in this relationship?
A baby? Remember when she was thinking about a baby last season?
Do you think that's all she wants from him?
No, I mean, she wants something. He has power.
He's got power. Exactly.
He has power. So she's somebody who is always looking for a come up. So I see that about Tiara. But speaking of Tiara, like, why is Rashad living with his girl looking at pictures of Tiara online? I was like, what is that, Rashad?
Well,
look, it's a hot mess. I was thinking the same thing, and it's only a matter of time before their affair becomes known. And I think at that point, his lady is going to be about done with him, because it's like that's all of these strikes against you. I was trying to hold you down, but that's a deal breaker.
He's 2 minutes from being booted from her house because he already not working in the house, and stuff. And she's already turned it to her house. She's making these, yeah. He 2 minutes from being booted.
But you know what? You got that is a very, very precarious situation for a man, really, or woman to be in. Women tend to find themselves in it more because they tend to take on these kinds of guys that are, I don't want to say beneath them, but not where they are. And so, in a relationship, you have to meet each other at where you're either going to meet each other where you are, or you're going to go out and find that guy or that woman that you actually want in your life, you need in your life. I forget her name. What's her name?
Deja.
Deja. So Deja settled, as far as I'm concerned, for Rashad. She settled for that. And we can see it in her conversations with him about the house when she slipped and said, my house. And I don't think that was a slip. It's a Freudian slip, if anything. Rashad is feeling a certain kind of way. And unfortunately, when some guys get that way, they start reverting back to a lot of things, and I think that could have something to do with his, looking at those, so that I believe could have something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know if there's still feelings there that he has, but I do know the position that he's in is a rough one because he wants to show her that he can handle things. And right now his life is just at a standstill.
Well, that's because he has a record, like he has a felony on his record and stuff, and it's a lot of times it's difficult to come out and get a good job. And she seems like her family has certain expectations. She comes from a certain pedigree and everything, and so
I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna wind up working for Douda. I think that
that's what I was saying. I was like, will he revert back to the streets? I'm hoping that he won't. But remember,
Douda seems to have this marketing campaign going on now because he wants to launder his earnings, and so I think Rashad's going to have something to do with that. I don't think it's going to be doing drugs necessarily, at least not directly, more indirect.
Well, look,
I think he's going to see.
I think Victor. Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think Victor will be a big part in putting a stop to that. I think Victor, now that he's a councilman, he's going to have a lot of pull. And hopefully that can keep Emmett out of trouble in regards to Otis. And hopefully that'll keep Rashad from getting in bed with him too, because I think he's going to be, blocking.
Emmett is in quicksand. The more he moves, the deeper he sinks.
That's why I'm hoping nothing happens to Emmett. Like we're talking about the casket and assuming who might pass away. I'm hoping it's not Emmett.
I don't think it will.
I hope not either.
Yeah,
it can't be.
It can't be, but it could be Rashad. I just think that
it could. I told you it could be Rashad. It could be Rashad. It could be Papa.
Yeah.
Look, if Rashad is smart, he'll take Darnell's advice and keep putting it down in the bedroom. That's the only way he's gonna keep Deja.
Right. I was going to say, keep her demonetized for a little bit.
Yeah.
That's for a little bit.
That'll work. Okay. So the elephant in the room is Kevin and Maisha.
Yeah. I was not expecting that. They always had that little back and forth little kind of thing going on. And early on, like they dated, like back in the first season.
Yeah. Well, she was chasing.
Really interested in each other.
Yeah,
but
Maisha was chasing.
That Kevin would do that to Papa. Papa still got feelings. He's still hurt behind what she did to him. You can hear it.
Listen, I guess Kevin don't care about nobody's feelings because nobody cared about his feelings when he was dealing with Jake and Gemma. You heard what he said when he had his little kickback. By the way, his little apartment is super cute. But
right, it is.
When he said that, he was like, "You weren't really off the market when you started dating Jake." I was like, "Oh." So I guess like I'm tired of being Mr. Good Guy.
Do you think that? Yeah,
I guess so.
I mean, it maybe. I don't know. I remember Maisha back in the day chasing Kevin. I just didn't remember if Kevin was as much into her.
No, they were like
They were.
dating. They were
Mhm.
dating first.
Well, yeah,
And then
Yeah.
Papa.
it was a
Then
kind of puppy love thing. So, and now, I mean, that
I
is
tell you what,
just
they
that is
passing
so
everybody
revealing.
around in this little friend group.
Yes, they
Because
are.
I'm
Yes, they
like
are.
Gemma with Kevin, then Gemma with Jake, and then
And that's
now Maisha going back to Kevin.
right. And that's what I mean.
Mhm.
It was this whole sense of sexuality going on in episode one. And it was just kind of convoluted. You didn't know where it was heading. So it'll be interesting to find out what Papa says when he finds out.
Well, Papa looked like he got his eyes on somebody else.
Yeah,
Old
he
girl that
does,
work
but
at
He
Douda.
does. He does.
he still loves himself some Maisha. So it'll be
Yeah, he do.
interesting. It'll be interesting to find out or what Bakari might even say about it. So,
Well,
Kari is a trip.
it is a
yeah,
trip.
he is.
It is a trip.
Yeah, I think this whole situation with Kevin moving out, I thought it was really cute and funny because it was like, okay, you want to be grown, you want to be out on your own. Nina and Dre was like, go ahead, do your thing. But as soon as he got his spot and he realized he had to, pay to rent his furniture, then he mentioned he was paying for a car. He didn't have nothing left for groceries, and here he is going through their stuff.
They're going grocery shopping at home. Yeah, yeah. Hey, but we all did it. I know I did it. And my mother shut it down too.
Yeah.
It's just something we do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Send him up out of there.
Yeah.
Life is life, and for Kevin,
life is life, and yeah.
So, you asked for what you got, what you asked for, and now you accept the realities of it. So I'm wondering how this season is going to go for him, whether he'll still continue to have a lot of success with his video gaming, or whether that's going to fall flat and he don't have to go back home with his tail tucked between his legs.
Well, I think he's going to end up. I think he's going to end up back home. We'll see.
I third that because he did say how lonely he is, and it is a big step. I mean, you got rent, you got groceries, and I don't know if he's really ready to be that stationary. Playing house. I'm not sure if that's what he really truly wants. But then again, well, he's got Maisha now, so he's got Maisha now. So never know. Maisha might, that might be what he needs.
Yeah, Simone kicked him to the curb or whatever. The little girl he was dating last season.
Yeah.
But I was wondering about Lene too, since she was officially adopted too. Like, would that be something that's pulling at his heartstrings? Like, dang, I kind of abandoned her by moving out and whatnot. So I don't know.
If he's lonely, have her stay with him. So
maybe. I don't know. It seems like this season really though is shaping up to be, a lot of drama. Definitely gonna see some deaths. I feel it. They have set us up.
Yeah, I feel it too.
I feel like the tension is so thick. Like you can really feel the stress in certain scenes, especially where Otis is involved. So I'm looking forward to seeing all that they have in store for us. I'm really excited that we finally are back for this show because, they always keep us guessing. And they have really solid writing and solid acting in this show. So it never disappoints.
Definitely.
So just really happy to see them back on our screens again.
And
did you guys have... Oh, go ahead, Tiff.
No, I was going to say, we didn't even say anything about Jada and Darnell.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think they're going to do good in their relationship. It seems like they're trying very hard to keep the flame burning. And as long as they both stay committed to that, I think they'll be all right. So Jada seemed like she was still speaking very, very highly of Darnell. Look like he ain't messed up yet.
Not yet. I don't know. I think Darnell might be on a straight and narrow, or at least as straight and narrow.
He's a good dude.
He's trying. Yeah.
I'll give him that.
Yeah. So, did you guys have any other predictions or anything you want to throw out there about this episode? I think we really kind of just threw it all out there already.
Yeah, we did. I think we definitely interjected some predictions. I told you I'm thinking Rob is keeping Douda close, that he might be trying to avenge his uncle. Don't know about who's gonna pass away. I hope it's not Papa.
I don't think it's Papa.
Right.
I think I agree with you about Rashad. He seems to be expendable right now because of his position in life. And so we typically make bad mistakes, and those mistakes can cost us. So if it would be anybody sooner rather than later, I think it would be Rashad. I'm hoping not, because he's the funny in the group. He keeps you laughing. So
or Emmett. I mean,
I don't see Emmett going.
I hope not. But
he's one of the main characters.
I do see him. He is, but that's a dangerous position he's in.
I see him getting. I see him getting shot. Or hurt. That's what I see. And maybe that'll wake him up. But then again, you're so deep now. With the car and possibly a house, because Douda brought that up. So,
and he mentioned a second location in New York somewhere. New York, so I was like,
so nothing is free. Nothing is free. And as I said, if it seems too good to be true, it is.
It is.
And I'm like, and this guy is dangerous.
But like you said, it's that heart. When you want something so badly, you tend to make those kinds of risks.
I know. And the thing is, I heard you say before about his shop. He may not have been Douda rich, but he had a small business. It was successful. For a young guy, he was doing all right, and he would have eventually gotten there anyway. I know he wanted things to happen fast.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Yeah, it is what it is. Emmett gonna have to learn the hard way. So
unfortunately,
I'm looking forward to seeing how it all goes down. So hats off to everybody for season 6 opening. We are very impressed with this first episode. Really enjoyed it. To all the viewers, please make sure you guys drop down in the comments and give us your thoughts on this episode. Also, give us your predictions for the season. Let us know how you feeling about our new Spot Real Talk logo and background. And let us know what's been going on with y'all. What would you like to see? Is there anything that we are missing in terms of shows that you would like to see recapped? Drop those down in the comment section as well. We are also on all social media platforms at the Spot Real Talk, so give us a follow. And also you can message us there too. We also accept guests. We love having our guest spotters on, so you can request to join us for a recap. And hopefully we'll have some interviews up our sleeve too. I don't know how likely that is with this writer's strike going on, but we definitely gonna try. So again, we are so sorry for the long hiatus. We have definitely missed y'all. We didn't mean to make it so long, but it is what it is, and we are happy to be back. So thank you guys for hanging in there with us. To all of our new subscribers and new viewers, we love you. Thank you for the support. Continue to support us, pass these videos and recaps on to your family and friends. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you get alerted every time we post. You guys got anything else?
You said it all.
Said it all.
All right. Well, on that note, we are going to call it a night. We will see you back next time for the recap of episode 2 of The CHI. Good night.
I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, keep that indoors when we're throwing down, oversized jumping with our underwear out. I'm on the sound, hoodie season, back around, no more summer bounce, little squeeze out, keep that indoors when we're throwing down, oversized jumping with our underwear out. Like they're bringing anything to the table, bro, I'm not your son, see I'm able, I do my own bits, limited edition, no some missing classic shit.